Good morning. Today we are going over math packet number 8. So remember, math packet number 8 is a try-to grade. It is due at the end of the trimester. You do have to have it turned in to me by Tuesday. Try-to grade. Turn it in early if you want me to check it. So our first page says, Sally's aunt is knitting her a striped scarf. Her aunt will use equally sized sections of red, blue, and yellow yarn in that order. So it'll be a pattern, red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow. Sally wants the scarf to be 140 centimeters long when she's finished, and she wants it to end with a red stripe. Each stripe measures 5 centimeters. How many blue stripes will there be in the finished scarf? So we can think about that scarf. And of course it's not, the pen isn't going to work for me. So think about that scarf. If we're going to have 140 centimeters long, and each section that I'm going to do for each color is going to be 5 centimeters, I need to figure out how many sections there are altogether, and then how many of them will be blue. So if I have 140 and I'm dividing it into 5 sections, what do I have to do? If I'm breaking it up into 5 sections, what math operation is that, Liam? Yeah, 140, and I'm dividing it by that 5. Then I know I have 3 colors, red, blue, yellow, in that order, are going to be going by. I need to think to myself, I have 3 sections that are going to be repeating. So I'm going to take that answer from 140 divided by 5, and I'm going to break that up into how many parts. How do I know how many of them are red, how many are blue, how many are yellow? But I know that very last one is going to be red. It's going to be the start of another section. So I know there's going to be one extra section than one extra red. So I'm going to divide it up into my 3 sections to see how many are blue, knowing that there's going to be a little bit left over for that red that's at the end. Okay, so I know I'm starting with 140 centimeters. I'm dividing that into my 5 centimeters. Then I take that answer and I say I have 3 sections here. I need to divide that answer by what? 3. Because I need to know how many sections are red, how many are blue, how many are yellow. Knowing that it's going to go over a little bit, there's going to be a decimal because I have an extra section, but not an extra 3 sections. Just this one section is going to make it go over. It's going to tell me what that extra red one is. Okay. Next section. Next page. This number has 4 digits. Every digit is an odd number, so think about our odd numbers. None of the digits is a 9. Every digit in the number is different. The smallest digit, so think about 1, 3, 5, 7, which is the smallest number, that's going in the thousands place. The greatest digit, 1, 3, 5, 7, whichever one is the greatest, goes in the ones place. I'll have 2 digits left over. I need to figure out what order to put them in the hundreds and the tens place to give me the bigger number. So if I had a 1 and a 3 left over, what's bigger, 13 or 31? 31 is bigger. So I would make sure to put it in that order. So think of what your 2 leftover numbers are. Put it as the bigger number. Then we have our 5-card challenge. We have a 5 that we can use in our 5 cards, and we have to equal 5. You can only use one 5 in your 5 cards. and then it's going to equal the 5 down below. You can't use 2 5s. There's only 1 5 in the 5 cards. Make sure you get up to 12 points. Then we have our pattern page. We need to complete the table for yellow and blue. How many yellows are in my first figure? How many blues?
0.
How many yellows in my second figure?
5.
5. How many blues?
4.
How many yellows in my third?
9.
How many blues? Not 36. 16. How many yellows in my fourth figure? 13. There are 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. How many blues are there? So now I need to find my patterns for yellow, my patterns for blue. So if I look at my yellow, what is the rule to go from 1 to 5 to 9 to 13? Madeline? I'm adding 4 every time. I need to continue my pattern. 0, 4, 16, 36. These are some of my favorite numbers. What kind of numbers are my favorites? Perfect what? Oh, friends, what are my favorite kinds of math numbers? Perfect squares. Oh, we see perfect squares all the time on our patterns. 4 is the perfect square of what? What times itself gives me 4? 2 squared. 16 is the perfect square of what? 36 is the perfect square of what? Do we see a pattern? 2 squared, 4 squared, 6 squared. Oh. Figure out the pattern and follow it. Our next page. We need the area of the full figure. So length times width. How I found it. Length times width. Take your length, multiply it by your width, and you get your full figure. I need to find my shaded area. In order to find that, I need to find the white area, length times width, so I can subtract it out. You're working on your test, finish your test. Oh, you're not working on your test. Raise your hand if you still have a test out. So we all have the test turned in? Good. Okay, so we need to find the white area. Oh my goodness, I have no numbers on my white rectangle. How can I solve that? There's no numbers. How can I find an area? Lilia? I know the full length is 15 and 4 is the shaded. What is 15 minus 4? 11. So I know this section is 11. How do I find this length? Madeline? 30 minus 8. Because I know this part is shaded. I don't want that. So 30 minus 8 is what?
22.
So I'm going to find that length times width of my white rectangle. And then I have to take the full rectangle, subtract the white rectangle, and I'm left with my shaded. So that's how I found it. I'm going to find the shaded area by doing the full minus the white, and I'm left with my shaded. Next page. Now, on this page, it doesn't actually say Math 6. So Math 6 and pre-algebra are doing the same thing. Okay, so what is the surface area of my figure? Well, to figure that out, I need to draw my net. And I need to figure out what each side measurement is. If I know the volume is 729 and it's a cube, to find the volume of a cube, it's side times side times side is how I find that volume. Because my all three sides will be the same, right? Side times side, length times width times height. So length, width, height. They're all the same, it's a cube. What number do I multiply by itself 3 times? So the number times the number times the number will get me 729. That's the first thing you have to figure out. A number times itself to equal 729. That's going to tell me what each side is. So you're going to label each side of your cube. And then we know to find our area of one square, side times side, length times width. Any guesses? When I have something like 729 and I don't know what it is, I pick a number to guess. So my first number I always pick is an easy one. I always say, what if I did 10 times 10 times 10? So that's 10 times 10 is 100, times 10 is 1,000. 1,000 is too big. So I need to try a smaller number. Maybe I try 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 is 125. Oh, that's way too little. So I need to try a number in between to find out what my side length is. I'm going to let you figure it out. Once you figure it out, you do your length times your width, and you put that area in the middle. You do that for all 6 squares. Add them up and you have the surface area. We've done surface area in lots of math packets. So the only new thing we're adding into this one is we actually have to find that side length. Correct. Your volume is 729. So that's how we find our side length. Once you find the side length, you can find the area of each of our squares. Add up all those areas and you have the surface area. Claire? Mm-hmm. So the circle would be the area of that square. So you need to find what your side length is. Let's say that 5 did work and I put a 5 and a 5 here. I know the area of my square would be 25. That doesn't work because we know it's way too small. But once you find what your side length is, multiply it together to get your area of each square. Then you add all 6 squares up. Amanda? Okay. All right, next page. This one we need to know our volume formulas. For Math 6, we're going to do 2 out of these 7. So you're going to want to write down the formulas. And Mr. Schultz is giving us some numbers, so we only have to find one missing number for them. So for our rectangular prism, that's length times width times height. Our base is 3. Our width is 4. You need to find the height. So if we know 3 times 4 is 12, I have to ask myself 12 times what would give me a volume of 144. For my cube, again, it's length times width times height, but I know that each of these has to be the same number, just like the cube on the other page. Oh my goodness, look at this. Our volume is 729. Oh, he gave us an easy one. If we found that side length on this page and the volume was 729, oh my goodness, look at that. Volume is 729. I can easily fill in what my side lengths are It's going to be the, oh, Cameron, we're not shouting out any numbers. For the triangular prism, it is the base times the height times the length. Just like with our triangle, it's 1/2 base times height. For a triangular prism, it's 1/2 of base times length times height. So we have to divide it by 2. For our pyramid, oh, wait, we've got some numbers to fill in. Our length is 10 and our height is 4. For our pyramid, that is length times width times height divided by 3. And we have a length of 6 and a height of 16. Now, this is our first time doing these. Stop. This is our first time doing these volume pages. We're going to have these pages in all the rest of our packets. So we will be seeing these pages again. Does anybody want me to fill in the cylinder, the cone, and the sphere? Connor, you want to challenge yourself? I love it. So a cylinder is the pi times r squared times the height. And we have a radius of 6 for this one. A cone is pi times r squared. And then that height is divided by 3. And we have a height of 2. And our sphere is 4/3 times pi times our radius cubed. So you are more than welcome to challenge yourself to find more than 2. Try to do one of the harder ones that has the pi in it. Okay. You don't have to. You can do 2. We know 1 was already given to us on the page before. Our last page. We have salespeople. These are our salespeople divided into teams of no more than 3. One team sold 28%. One team sold 46%. And one team sold 26%. You need to use every one of these people. So in order to use the people, we need to match up their colors. I'm going to help us with that because some of these blues look very similar. So Dodsworth is 27%. Suyama is 24%. Fuller is 20%. Peacock is the 19%. Leverling is the 4%. And our last 2 are the 3%. So you're going to tell me which salespeople, if we add them together, would have been on the team that made 28%. So which salespeople is that? Which salespeople added together gave us 46%, and which ones gave us 26%? All the salespeople are used. You will have some groups of teams of 2, some teams of 3. Okay, so it might be a team of 2, it might be a team of 3. You use each person 1 time. So if we're going to use Dodsworth and Suyama, if we put them together, that would give me a percentage of 51%. There's no team that's 51%. So I can't put these 2 together. Okay, I have to figure out what combinations to put together that would give me everybody used. I would have 28, 46, and 26%. Jimena.
So, do we just write it down over here?
No, you can just write it right here like I did. So what I did was over here, I was adding stuff up, seeing if it would work. Oh, no, that didn't work. I erased it. I tried another different grouping. Oh, that didn't work. I erased it. Keep trying, checking and guessing. Claire? Oh, yeah. You can try whatever groupings you want. You're going to put down the final. If you want to use scratch paper to do your checking and guessing, you can for sure use scratch paper and put your final ones here. That's fine. Just staple your scratch paper onto your packet so I can see your work. And if you are watching this at home, if you still have questions on any of these pages, come see me. If you turn it in by Friday, I will get it corrected and give it back to you to finish up. If you are one of my friends that will be absent next week, make sure you turn it in to me before you leave, because this packet is a try to grade and try to ends next week. So turn it in early if you're going to be gone. If you're watching at home, I hope you are well. I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.